Congratulations if I haven't tell you in the class. Congratulations. I think now you know much more than most people about stock and how does it get created. So we are going to move on to understanding sector and industry. I'm going to start a presentation now and we'll see you on the next slide after it's end. So what is sector and industry? These two terms again have been mentioned very often and it becomes confusing for so many new investors. Let's use an example of first let's see the map. This is a US map and as you see in the cartoon here, there's a lot of activities going on in each state and each local community. So there's a lot of things going on, people fishing, people selling stuff, people live, people die, energy, a lot of things going on in this country. So let me go back also to Nico cookie business. So in Nico cookie business, which is might be one in this state that somebody starting a cookie business. Let's say that is my Nicola. And when Nico did his cookie business close to his home, somewhere else in different state, there may be a Suzy cookie, Mary cake, or this business could be categorized as a food and dessert industry. Then there would be food and meat industry, and breakfast industry, something that really relate to eating. So someone, especially like the investor or the bank or economic class, I don't know who's coming up with, but later on people really group all these similar activity together. And for example, the food and cookie food meat, they would sum them up and they would call it consumer staple sector. So from the industry, group them all up, it becomes sector. So if I'm going to show in this picture, first we see the country, big country, the whole market is in this country, US. So the map represents the USA market because in the map, as you can see, there's a lot of activity going on. All the activity of buy and sell service, goods and product, this all in the market. People exchange goods and service. So the whole market split into sector as I use in Nico cookie business. The sector is a big picture of all the business together. And then in sector, they split into different industry. Like what I use Nico cookie example, I say all the cookie and food together would be consumer staple industry. Consumer staple sector. So let's say sector 1 here. So sector 1 is consumer staple. So in this sector 1 is actually combined with a little industries, can be meat, dessert, vegetable, or equipment that produce meat industry. So all these little industry together combine into a sector, which as I call it, consumer staple. And then sector 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 also have the sub-industry within its sector. Then all these industry have a little company inside. So let's use going to shopping mall as an example. As you walk into a mall, the mall would be similar to something like US market in this picture. You walk into the mall, the first thing you see is the women's sector. Like the whole first floor is about women. There's a lot of things going on. And once you walk into this women's sector, which is the first floor, you will find a cosmetic industry, an apparel industry, a shoe industry, a jewelry industry, yes. And then in this industry, let's say we walk into cosmetic industry, when you look into this showcase, you will see lipstick company, foundation company. So essentially, the company is a little piece, little part of the industry. Industry is combining a lot of the similar kind of company together. It's become industry. And when we combine similar industry together, group them together, it becomes sector. And then when you combine all the sector together, you get the market. So in this picture, when you combine sector 1 to sector 7 together, you get a US market. And then if we move on to Thailand, we would get Thailand market. We would get France market. We would get South Africa market. We would get Philippine market. So with all these markets in the world together, then we get a global market, which right now is really what's happening in the world. We start to exchange goods and service between the country. It's become a global market, and we linking to each other all the time. So when one market affects the other, market often get effects as well because we do trade together. So this is a big picture of what really is sector and industry. And now, why do we really need to use it? The reason that we need to understand sector and industry because we want to be able to use that to later on screen our stock and also understand the rotation of the market. Because when one sector doesn't do well because less people buying service and product from that sector, normally the other sector would do well. They always are rotating. This is called business rotation or sector rotation. And then I will talk about that later on in the next slide.